Hi everyone, my name is Dorothy, and here's what's been uplifting me lately. When we go through days that don't go as smoothly as we hoped for, when tasks take longer, we feel frustrated about the different obstacles that show up in our day that were not planned, or we feel overwhelmed with the amount of things that we need to do compared to the amount of time that we have to do them, we tend to feel very negatively about our day. We tend to feel like our day is ruined. And our day doesn't have to be ruined just because things don't go as planned. And there are definitely things that you can do to turn your day around and to shift your perspective on your overall day. And here are a few tips that can help you do exactly that. The tip number one is to go on a walk. When you're feeling like your mind is getting cluttered and clouded by the frustration you feel with your work, going on a walk can really help you refresh your mental state, to clear your thoughts and to declutter your mind. And it can also refresh your physical state because you're going outside, you're breathing some fresh air, and you're moving your body. And as you're walking, you can even take deep breaths to really put the emphasis on this overall refresh that you're doing. And also, what often happens during your walk is that you get this new perception of what it is exactly you're experiencing, a new perception on your frustration, and sometimes it really de dramatizes things. Sometimes what you're really getting frustrated about is not as intense as you perceive it in that moment. And I'm not saying that your frustration is not valid. I'm just saying that sometimes we tend to fall into this panic. And maybe what you're experiencing right now, you will realize as you're walking that you don't need to panic as much. Maybe you just need to strategize more. So, taking a step back from your work as you are on your walk can really help you gain this new perspective. And once you come back home, you're able to strategize more and even find better solutions because your thoughts have been cleared. And so you're able to think more clearly. The tip number two is to ask yourself, what would I be doing instead? If you're feeling frustrated right now because the first half of your day you've spent it doing tasks that maybe have taken way longer than planned to do, or you've done some things here and there, but you feel like you have wasted the first half of your day, well, ask yourself this. If it was the beginning of the day right now as we speak, what would I be doing? If you can think back at that same morning of that same day, how would you start your day? What would you have preferred to work on first? And then start with that. Go take that exact action. Pretend that you went back in time, okay? And now it's the beginning of that day again. And you can take the action that you would have preferred to take the action X amount of hours ago. And the same applies to if you have this day with so many things to do and you feel like you don't have enough time to do all of those things, pretend like you had all the time in the world during that day. You have all the time in the world during this day. If you did, what would you do? What would you start with? And as you do this exercise, most likely you're going to have a bunch of different ideas. You would probably think, oh, I'm going to start with this. I'm going to take care of this, that, and a third. And that is super great. And what it is important for you right now to do when all of these ideas pop into your head is go take the action. Start with the first thing and then do the next, do the next, do the next. What that will do is that it would really take the pressure off and de-dramatize the fact that the first half of your day was not exactly the way you wanted it to be. And it's okay to acknowledge that. It's okay to notice that. But now, what are the next steps that we can take? How do we go forward from now? Because most likely your day is not over when you feel this way. There is still time to turn your day around. There is still time to get some of the things done that you wanted to do today. Because what do you realistically going to do with the rest of your day? Are you just going to give up and feel bad about the way that the first half of your day went? No. Take a second, like I said, to acknowledge that you don't like the way that the first half went. But now, how do we move forward from here? What actions are we going to take? How are we going to use our time for the rest of our day to get some of the things done that we wanted to do? And at the end of your day, you'll feel much better because you will have spent the second half of your day doing some of the things that you wanted to do. You will have spent the second half of your day really taking your power back and not letting the circumstances of the day control you and put pressure on you and put all this weight on you. You have been able during the second half of the day to do what you could to still show up for what you needed to show up for and what you wanted to show up for, and do the best with what you had. The tip number 3 is to set priorities. When you're feeling very overwhelmed with all of the different things that you need to do, it can help a lot to create a to-do list and create this priority list so that you structure all of the tasks that you need to do during your day. And it can also help you know exactly where to start. And when we're feeling overwhelmed, we often want to think about all of the steps that we need to do, and that feels so big and we don't know where to start. And having this list can help you focus on one task at a time. But it's still very important to take the action. You can set a timer for 5 minutes to create your to-do list, but don't get so caught up in making that list to the point where you're spending the majority of your day just planning. You need to take the action. And when your list is done, all that you have to do is one at a time, one after the other, you go do the tasks. And when you do them, you don't need to focus on all of the things that are written on your to-do list. You only need to focus on the one that you're doing right now. So pick one, well, actually start from the top and go do that task and only focus on that. And when you're done and you can put a check in the check box, then you're going to go to the next one and focus on that. And then you're going to go to the next one and focus on that. And that will really help you calm down and be less overwhelmed with all of the tasks that you need to do. And I will also say this, things typically don't take as much time to do than we perceive, especially when we're panicking and we're overwhelmed. We perceive things to be so much more difficult than they actually are, and we convince ourselves that it will take so long to do them. And when you look at your to-do list, at the end of your day, you will most likely have done way many more things than you initially thought you would be able to do in your day. So celebrate that and be proud of yourself for that. And if there are things in your to-do list that you didn't get to do during your day and it's possible to do them another day, plan them already for either the next day or the next day that you can get to them. And on that day, start with that. Really prioritize those tasks so that you make sure that you still do them. And that will help you feel less stressed and overwhelmed about the tasks that you didn't get to do during that day, because you know that you have set a date and a time to do them. And so you don't just have tasks that haven't been done and they're up in the air with no plan to do them. You have planned to do them on this day and this time, and so it assures you that you will get to them and you will go take the action. These are all tips that I have personally used in my life and that have helped me turn my days around. And I really do hope that they can help you too. And if you have other tips to share with me or with the other people watching the video, leave them down in the comments. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye!